Tony Monaco of Tony Monaco Furniture Design is a cabinet maker, woodworker, furniture designer, longtime Jersey City resident, and has an extraordinary personal story. We toured his studio, part of the Hoboken Wood Company, and met some pretty fascinating makers in the process.
The magic happens in here, right?
Well, part of magic. But my shop is over there.
Oh, okay. Well, take us where your
yeah,
shop is.
yeah. All right. This is my space.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So,
Are these all things that you've made here?
yeah.
Are
Over
the-
the years.
That's a really cool piece. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of like a little bit of a foosball table,
Oh, yeah?
you know?
So she got the record to do an article on me because this was on the cover.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And where is that photo taken?
Out in Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very long, or like a shore thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the beach house.
That's me.
What year is this?
1999 or 98.
So when did you start working with wood? When did you know that this was the thing that you wanted to do?
When I was first introduced to the world.
A baby.
Baby. I remember playing with erective sets, Legos, things like that. I don't know. You want to see a grown man cry? I feel that my change, well, my transformation, actually, my transformation, I was always introverted. Now I have to meet people.
Right.
Yeah, I go out and social. I don't know why.
And you feel this has happened after your deep brain stimulation
Yes.
that you've received from your Parkinson's treatment.
Yeah, but I always go back to wood, but it happened.
Has that impacted your work?
Well, it's impacted my life.
Sure.
My work is my work.
How long have you been in Jersey City Heights?
Both three.
Okay.
And we were used to, it's funny. I moved out from Boston. In Boston is where BU was where I met Callie. I was thinking, well, maybe let's set up shop in my father's basement.
With all of this?
No, it's very small.
Oh,
No. And Callie. I knew Callie from up there, but
Right.
I didn't know Callie set foot in New York. So I went over to 49 Harrison Street, met Steve Saperti. Steve Saperti was another cabinet maker, came from BU also.
Did you study
What?
woodworking at
Oh
BU?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even know that they had a program for that at BU. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Steve Saperti said, oh, Callie's setting up a shop right next door. So that's how,
Amazing.
yeah.
And you've continued to work side by side.
Yeah.
this is the natural wood, this color?
Yes, this
Okay.
is the natural wood, no finish.
Okay.
You can
Very
you
cool.
can have a natural wood. You can put a finish over it. A little richer. Well, a lot richer. But there was no stain.
Gotcha. It would just bring out the wood tone, the natural wood tones.
Got it.
Got it.
Right?
Do you program it to get this exact?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Open it up, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's got like bits.
Yeah.
It's got bits that you put in.
Well, it's a knife. It's called a knife.
A knife. Okay.
So it's made exactly like the customer wanted.
Right. So you can buy different types of these knives that would change this type of molding.
Yes. Yes.
Very
Well, it's custom.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So you can do anything.
I love it. I did not know that. I'm not well versed in the wood shop
But
universe.
I am.
Yes, I know. That's why we're here.
That's why I am, and I can explain it to you.
I love it. Thank you.
I want to get into everything. So at the time, at the very beginning, I was into turning. Little things like this. You know?
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun stuff.
Yeah. And then I got into, you know, corbels, you know. Then this came along. You know, it's just like.
I really like that. That's very nice. So what do you say, what would your advice be for keeping a wood bowl in really great condition for many, many years?
I think it's all about the finish.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay.
That's all. That's all.
So I think the big question I've been asked, and I don't have the answer to because I don't have a wooden bowl, but a lot of people get gifted wooden bowls. What is the best way to take care of a wooden bowl?
First of all, it depends on what kind of finishing product they use on the solid bowl.
Okay.
I use, the usually oil-based finishes.
Okay.
Solid, which is food grade.
Oh, food grade, yeah, sure.
So it's not toxic.
So what the consensus is that if you get a really well-made bowl with a really good finish, that you never have to oil it again.
I would take care of the wood, refinish it. I mean, that's the best way.
Okay.
I mean, a couple of years later, it's gonna get dry,
Yeah, sure.
because it's liquid, water, juice, everything mixed up.
How long have you been making
Oh,
wood objects?
I would say since mid-'80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you live here in Hoboken?
I live in Jersey City,
Very cool. What
Yeah.
part of Jersey City?
Heights.
Oh, very nice. I'm
Michelle.
Michelle.
Chris, nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Chris. Nice to meet you. Are you working on anything interesting that we might want to?
Right now I'm just making a jig. It's a crosscut sled for the table saw. So it's kind of like manufacturing a tool. I generally get put on individual furniture pieces. Like the piece behind you is a piano desk that I've made a few of those. But you can see a drawer. You can see the drawer in there.
Oh, I see.
And that's just for a keyboard, like a
Oh,
digital piano
cool.
keyboard.
We left, the shop that burned, and we had to get out of there really fast, and so I had a lot of wood to move. And that was, 2 years ago, something like that, and we just threw it in here. And we're going through it one rack at a time.
Right.
Trying to put all my maple one place, all my mahogany another, cedar, another, oak, another, and then whatever exotics we find.
Wow, really cool. That's awesome.
It had to happen because I had done some projects in the last couple of years, and one required a lot of maple, and I wasn't sure where all my maple was because it was in such a mess over here, so I ended up buying maple.
Wow, I'm like overwhelmed by so much wood information.
Well, the wood is what we do.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
wood, it's amazing, and when you think about it, I mean, have you felt any density of some of this? That tree is actually, it comes from Africa, right? And
What-
it was
what kind
probably,
of wood
this is satinwood, and it probably was cut maybe 20, 30 years ago. The tree was huge. Now, can you imagine how much that weighed?
Yeah,
The tree?
I
And
can't
that's when
imagine.
it was wet.
It's weighing a little heavy on my
Right.
hand right now.
So, you know, it's nice to go through. I mean, that's what we do.
But
do.
that's what intrigues me, right? It's like you're saying that this came from Africa many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, but where has it been? Like,
Well,
how did
okay,
you get it?
Okay, back up a little bit. Some of it, actually, I got at an auction many years ago in Brooklyn of an old shop that had a big stack of wood. And so I bought it at auction maybe 30 years ago. Now, that's some of it. Other wood I've gotten wood from all over the years.
Sure,
But
sure.
then in that particular piece of satinwood, that's where I got it.
That's just amazing to me. And what about what are those really big?
Are you talking about these over here? Like the big
Yeah,
planks?
like the big planks, yeah.
Yeah, that's white oak and white pine that came out of the Philadelphia Academy of Music. They needed to raise the stage. Are you familiar with the Academy of Music?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, okay. So they needed to do new staging, so it came out of the ceiling. And we've done a fair amount of work with them. I've sold a lot of beams to architects that use exposed beams in the ceiling.
Sure.
Tom and Hucker and myself, we had a show in Philadelphia where we were just at Wexler Gallery, where we were just showing wood specifically from those beams.
Wow. So is it your artistic representation of logs?
I'm
if
just
you
doing
were-
whatever I can come up with.
Oh, if you produced just like something that was cut in two pieces, would it be like, I don't want this? Ooh, I love this. It's great. I like this a lot. You could probably like make a little foot.
So these are
out
just
of-
going to stack in his fireplace.
Ah, very cool. What is, like, you just painted this blue?
Yeah, it's just a blue dye, and then this one has a little bit of flat and blue, and then this one's natural.
Ooh, what kind of wood is this?
I have no idea. I just went out and got sticks.
Okay. Nice.
And then this one's taking a branch and cutting it in
look at
parts and
that.
doing that, so that goes in.
This is great.
And this one's like a log, but it's this Japanese joint connected to
Ooh, look at this joint. This is
have
so
pieces
cool.
like this.
So this is all gonna go in his fireplace?
Well, we'll see what he likes or doesn't like.
Oh, you're just testing.
And then there's this kind of stuff.
Wow, that's really cool.
So we're
so
just
cool.
playing around with different shapes and forms, and we'll take a bunch of things over, and he can go plop, and I like it, I don't like it, and we'll go from there.
And how long have you been doing this?
This project's been on for about 2 months so far.
But how long have you been working in wood?
Close to 50 now.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah.
Good stuff.